Consider, if you will, the nature of softness. What is it truly? Is it the gentle smile you offer to strangers, the acquiescence to others' demands, the constant bending of your will to accommodate those around you? Or is it something far more insidious, a habit born of fear and misunderstanding that keeps you from claiming your rightful place in the universe? I tell you now with absolute certainty that the softness you have been taught to revere is nothing more than a construct of the world of Caesar, a veil pulled over your eyes to keep you from recognizing your own divinity. When you are soft to everyone, you are not expressing love. You are denying the very essence of who you are. Let us pause for a moment and truly contemplate this idea. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine yourself as you are now, accommodating, pleasing, always putting others first. Feel the weight of that existence settle upon you. Now ask yourself, is this truly who I am? Is this the full expression of the divine within me? As you sit there, eyes closed, fully immersed in this realization, you are tapping into a profound truth. You are at this very moment beginning to break free from the shackles of false kindness. For what is true kindness if not the honest expression of your divine self? Now, open your eyes and look around you. The world may appear unchanged, but I assure you a profound shift has occurred within you. You have, for a brief moment, glimpsed the power that comes when we shed the illusion of necessary softness. But let us not be content with mere glimpses of this liberated state. The art of stopping being soft to everyone requires consistent practice, unwavering focus, and a willingness to stand firm in the face of others' expectations and demands. It requires that you maintain a clear vision of your true self, not just in quiet contemplation, but in every interaction, every decision, every moment of your day. Imagine, if you will, a man who truly understands his own worth, who recognizes the divine within himself. This man does not acquiesce to every demand placed upon him. He does not contort himself to fit others' expectations. He stands firm in his truth, speaks with conviction, and acts with purpose. How does this man carry himself? How does he interact with others? How does he approach his goals and dreams? This man, my friends, moves through the world with a sense of authority that is palpable. He doesn't wait for permission to pursue his passions. He understands that his desires are divine inspiration, meant to be fulfilled. He doesn't hold back his truth or compromise his integrity, for he knows that in doing so, he would be denying not just himself, but the very God that expresses through him. This man is not unkind or unloving. On the contrary, he is more genuinely loving than ever before. By embracing his true nature, by refusing to be falsely soft, he has tapped into the infinite love of the divine. He has compressed eternity into each moment, and in doing so, he has discovered the secret to truly honoring himself and others. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if I stop being soft to everyone, won't I become harsh or uncaring? Won't I damage my relationships or lose the love of others? These are natural concerns, born from a misunderstanding of what it truly means to stop being soft. You see, stopping being soft to everyone is not about becoming hard or unyielding. It's not about disregarding others' feelings or trampling over their needs. It's about bringing a new level of authenticity, of divine truth to each interaction. It's about recognizing that the highest form of love is not acquiescence, but the honest expression of your divine nature. When you truly embody this state of divine authority, you find that you naturally command respect without demanding it. You begin to attract people and circumstances that align with your true self. You cease engaging in relationships that require you to diminish yourself, and you begin to forge connections based on mutual respect and shared divinity. Consider the words of Scripture, "You are the light of the world." This is not a metaphor or a pretty saying. It is a profound truth about your nature. When you are soft to everyone, when you dim your light to make others comfortable, you are not just doing a disservice to yourself. You are denying the world the full radiance of God expressing through you. But how, you may ask, does one begin this practice? How does one stop being soft in a world that seems to demand compliance and accommodation? The answer, my dear friends, lies in the power of your wonderful human imagination. Your imagination is the very voice of God within you, the tool by which you can reshape your concept of self and consequently your entire world. Begin by selecting a scene, a short, simple scene that embodies the life you would live if you truly stopped being soft to everyone. Perhaps it's a scene of you confidently expressing your opinion in a meeting, even when it goes against the popular view. Maybe it's the feeling of saying no to a request that doesn't align with your values or goals. Or it could be the sense of peace you feel as you pursue your dreams without seeking anyone's approval. Now enter that scene in your imagination. Do not merely visualize it as if watching a movie. Step into it. Be the protagonist in this drama of your creation. Feel the strength, the clarity, the unshakable certainty that comes with honoring your divine self. Make it as real and as vivid as you possibly can. And most importantly, feel the emotion, the power, the freedom, the self-respect that this new way of being brings you. Repeat this imaginal act night after night, day after day. Let it be the last thing you experience before drifting off to sleep, and the first thing you return to upon waking. Live in this state as often as you can, for in doing so, you are rewriting the script of your life. You are stopping being soft not through force or will, but through a fundamental shift in your concept of self. As you persist in this practice, you will begin to notice profound shifts in your outer world. You may find yourself naturally speaking your truth without fear. You may notice a new quality in your relationships as people begin to respect your boundaries and value your authentic self. You may discover wells of creativity and productivity that you never knew you possessed, simply because you've stopped stifling your divine inspiration. These changes, my friends, are not coincidences. They are the natural result of your shift in consciousness. They are the physical manifestation of your new understanding of self and your place in the universe. Do not question them. Do not doubt them. Simply accept them with gratitude, knowing that they are confirmation of the truth you have accepted in your imagination. But what of those moments when the old habits of softness and compliance creep back in? What of those times when the world of Caesar seems to demand that you shrink yourself, that you bend to others' will? This, beloved, is where your resolve is tested and strengthened. Remember, the outer world is a shadow, a reflection of past states of consciousness. It takes time for this shadow to fully align with your new state of being. During this period of transition, you must stand firm in your conviction. You must persist in your assumption that you are a divine being worthy of respect and honor. When you feel yourself slipping back into old patterns of softness, do not fight it. Do not resist it. Simply observe it, acknowledge it, and then gently return to the feeling of divine authority. Remind yourself that your imagination is the reality and that the world of Caesar must conform to it in due time. For it is written, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As you continue to practice stopping being soft to everyone, you will find that your entire being begins to shift. Your thoughts naturally align with your divine nature. Your words carry the weight of truth and authority. Your actions spring from a place of self-respect and divine purpose. You no longer seek permission or approval. You move through the world with the confidence of one who knows their true identity. This, my dear friends, is the art and science of living from your divine self. It is the method by which you can transcend the limitations of false softness and step into the fullness of your divine nature. It is not a rejection of love or kindness, but a profound affirmation of the highest form of love, the love that honors the divine in yourself and in others. As we delve deeper into this practice, let us consider the nature of reality itself. In the world of Caesar, reality appears to demand compliance and softness, a solid construct that we must navigate with caution and accommodation. But in the realm of imagination, in the kingdom of God within you, reality is fluid. You are the operant power, the divine being capable of reshaping your world through the power of your assumptions. When you stop being soft to everyone, you are essentially stepping out of the illusion of powerlessness and into the truth of your divine authority. You are selecting from the infinite possibilities that exist, the reality that aligns with your highest self. And as you dwell in that reality in your imagination, embodying the strength and authenticity of your true nature, you draw it into your physical experience. Consider the words of Scripture, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. This is not a promise of some future liberation. It is a profound statement about the nature of consciousness. In the instant that you shift your awareness, in the moment that you decide to stop being soft and start honoring your divine self, you are freed. And as you change, the world around you must change to reflect your new state of being. But my beloved listeners, I must caution you. This power is not to be used for domination or the harm of others. For in harming others, you only harm yourself. Remember, in the timeless reality of your true self, there is no other. We are all one, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. Therefore, use this power wisely to uplift yourself and, by extension, all of humanity. As you practice stopping being soft to everyone, you may find that your relationships begin to shift. Those who are accustomed to your compliance may initially resist your new way of being. This is natural and to be expected. But do not be moved by appearances. Hold steady in your new concept of self and watch as your relationships transform. Some relationships may fall away, and this too is natural. Not everyone is ready to interact with you in your divine authority. But fear not, for as these relationships fade, new ones will emerge, relationships based on mutual respect, shared purpose, and recognition of the divine in each other. Embrace these shifts. Allow your imagination to soar beyond the confines of your current relationships. For in truth, the ultimate aim of this practice is not merely to change how others treat you, but to fully realize your oneness with the divine. It is to know beyond all doubt that you are an eternal being expressing itself in human form, that you are limitless, that you are in essence God expressing itself as you. Now let us address a question that may have arisen in your minds. If I am to stop being soft to everyone, does this mean I should never compromise or show flexibility? Should I become rigid and unyielding in all my interactions? The answer, my friends, is both yes and no. You see, stopping being soft to everyone in the conventional sense is not the same as becoming inflexible. To re-embody this state requires a shift in consciousness so profound that your very concept of compromise and flexibility is transformed. You do not become rigid, you become authentically you in all your divine complexity. Imagine, if you will, a mighty oak tree. It stands tall and strong, its roots deep in the earth, its branches reaching towards the sky. When the wind blows, does the oak resist with all its might? No, it sways and bends, but it does not break. It is flexible, yet it never compromises its essential nature as an oak. This is how you must approach your life when you stop being soft to everyone. You stand firm in your truth, your values, your divine nature. Yet you remain flexible in your interactions with the world, bending without breaking, adapting without compromising your essence. As you practice this, you will find that your interactions with others take on a new quality. What once felt like a constant struggle to please everyone now becomes a dance of authenticity. For you understand that in honoring your true self, you are also honoring the divine in others. But remember, my dear friends, this is not about becoming harsh or uncaring. It is about bringing more truth, more authenticity, more divinity into each interaction. It is about understanding that the fullness of your being is available to you here and now, if only you have the courage to claim it. Now let us delve deeper into the practical aspects of this practice. How does one maintain this state of divine authority throughout the day, amidst the demands and expectations of daily life? The key lies in cultivating a new habit of thought, a new way of perceiving and interacting with the world around you. Begin each day by immersing yourself in the feeling of your divine authority. Before you open your eyes in the morning, spend a few moments in the state of being your true, uncompromised self. Feel the strength, the clarity, the unshakable certainty that comes from knowing who you truly are. Let this feeling permeate your entire being, so that you carry it with you as you rise and begin your day. As you go about your daily activities, continuously remind yourself of your divine nature. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what would my highest self choose? This simple question can shift your perspective dramatically, allowing you to approach situations from a place of divine authority rather than habitual softness. Practice self-respect in each moment, not from a place of ego, but from a place of divine recognition. Be grateful not for what others think of you, but for who you truly are. This attitude of self-respect aligns you with the frequency of your divine nature, drawing more reasons to honor yourself into your life. Watch your words carefully, for they are powerful creators. Speak as if each word were a declaration of your divine nature. Eliminate phrases of self-deprecation or unnecessary apology from your vocabulary. Instead of saying, I'm sorry to bother you, say, thank you for your time. Instead of saying, I'm not sure if this is right, but say, here's what I think. Your words shape your reality. Choose them as if they were divine decrees. In your interactions with others, bring a new level of authenticity and self-respect. Listen not out of obligation, but out of genuine interest. Speak your truth not with aggression, but with calm certainty. Set boundaries not out of fear, but out of self-love and respect for the divine in both yourself and others. When you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of excessive softness or people-pleasing, do not berate yourself. Simply observe it, acknowledge it, and gently guide your consciousness back to the state of divine authority. Remember, this is a practice. Like any skill, it takes time and patience to master. Be kind to yourself as you learn and grow. As you persist in this practice, you will begin to notice a profound shift in your perception of the world. What once seemed like demands become opportunities for self-expression. What once caused you anxiety is now met with calm certainty. You will find yourself naturally making choices that align with your highest good, effortlessly moving towards the realization of your deepest desires. But here, my beloved listeners, is where many stumble. As they begin to see the fruits of their new state of consciousness manifesting in the physical world, they become excited and impatient. They start to wonder how much time it will take for everyone to recognize and respect their new way of being. They look for signs and try to figure out the how and when of their complete transformation. In doing so, they slip out of their divine authority and back into the mindset of seeking external validation. This is a crucial point in your journey. When you begin to see your life transforming, when you notice the world rearranging itself to accommodate your new reality, you must hold steady in your assumption. Do not be moved by appearances. Do not try to figure out how or when your complete transformation will manifest. Simply continue to live from the state of divine authority, knowing with unshakable faith that what you have imagined must come to pass. Remember the words of Scripture, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, your thing. Your absolute knowing that you are a divine being worthy of respect and honor is the very substance that brings your new reality into physical manifestation. It is the evidence of the unseen truth of your divine nature. As you continue to stop being soft to everyone, you may find that your relationship with the concept of strength itself begins to change. You may discover that true strength is not about domination or control, but about unwavering self-respect and authenticity. For in truth, the state of divine authority is not about imposing your will on others. It is a state of consciousness, a way of being in the world that naturally commands respect. When you truly embody this state, you realize that there is nothing to prove, nothing to defend. Everything you could ever need, respect, love, success, flows naturally from your alignment with your divine self. This realization brings a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. You no longer seek validation from others, for you know that you are already whole, already complete, already divine. This, my dear friends, is the ultimate freedom. It is the state of being that all spiritual teachings point towards. It is the kingdom of heaven that is within you. When you stop being soft to everyone, you are claiming your rightful place in this kingdom. You are acknowledging your oneness with the divine, your role as a co-creator of reality. But let us be clear, this state of consciousness does not mean that you become inconsiderate or unloving. On the contrary, when you stop being soft to everyone, you become more genuinely loving, more intentional in your choices. You become acutely aware of the impact of your thoughts, words, and actions. You understand that each moment is an opportunity to express your highest self, to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. As we near the end of our time together, I want to address a question that may have arisen in your minds. If I am to stop being soft to everyone, does this mean I should never show vulnerability or admit to mistakes? The answer, my beloved, is that vulnerability and accountability take on a new meaning when you live from this state of consciousness. You see, when you stop being soft to everyone, your vulnerability becomes a strength, not a weakness, for you understand the power of authenticity. You don't hide your struggles or pretend to be perfect, but you also don't use your vulnerability as an excuse or a plea for pity. You own your experiences, your growth, your humanity, all while standing firm in your divine nature. In this state, you may find that you accomplish more than you ever thought possible, yet with less struggle and strain, for you are no longer pushing against the world or trying to please everyone. You are simply being your authentic divine self, allowing your life to unfold naturally in alignment with your true nature. And so, my dear friends, as we conclude this exploration of stopping being soft with everyone, I urge you to take this practice into your daily life. Begin now, in this very moment, to live from the state of divine authority. Feel the strength, the clarity, the self-respect that comes from knowing who you truly are. Remember, this is not about becoming harsh or uncaring. It is about embracing the fullness of your being. It is about aligning yourself with the deepest truth of your divine nature. It is about claiming your divine inheritance as an eternal being expressing itself in human form. As you leave this place and return to your daily lives, carry with you the knowledge that you are a divine being worthy of respect and honor. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Let it transform your perception of yourself and your place in the world. For in truth, you are not separate from the divine. You are the divine, experiencing itself through your unique perspective. Stop being soft to everyone, and watch as your life takes on a new depth and richness. Live from your divine authority and see how your path unfolds before you with grace and ease. Be the person who stands firm in their truth, and discover that you have always been that person waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. Go forth, my beloved, and create the life you desire. For you are the operant power. You are the divine made flesh. You are the creator of your reality. Everything you could ever want or need is available to you now. Claim it. Live it. And always remember, the world is yourself pushed out. As you transform your inner world, as you stop being soft to yourself, your outer world must follow. This is the law. This is the promise. This is the truth that sets you free. In closing, I leave you with this thought. Each interaction is an opportunity to express your divine nature. Each challenge is an invitation to stand firm in your truth. In this journey of stopping being soft to everyone lies the secret to true empowerment. For when you fully embrace your divine authority, you tap into the infinite power of your true self. Live from your divine authority and you will discover that true strength lies not in domination, but in authenticity. For in the divine reality, strength and love are one and the same. They are the very essence of your being, waiting to be expressed in each moment. Thank you, my dear friends, for your attention and your willingness to explore these profound truths. May you go forth in the knowing that you are divine, that you are powerful beyond measure, and that you are worthy of the utmost respect and honor. For you are, in truth, God expressing itself as you. Honor that divinity in yourself, and watch as the world rises to meet you. God bless you all. Before we delve into these rules, let us first understand the nature of attachment itself. In the world of Caesar, we are taught from an early age that our happiness, our very sense of self, is dependent on others. We are conditioned to believe that our worth is measured by the affection and approval of those around us. This, my dear friends, is the great illusion that keeps us bound to a life of limitation and suffering. But I say unto you, true freedom lies not in clinging to others, but in recognizing the divinity within yourself. For you are God made manifest, the very essence of creation expressing itself in human form. And in this realization lies the power to detach from all external sources of validation and love. Now, let us turn our attention to the first rule of emotional detachment. Recognize the I am within. This rule, my beloved listeners, is the foundation upon which all else is built. For until you truly understand and embody the I am presence within you, you will forever be at the mercy of external circumstances and relationships. The I am is not some distant, unknowable force. It is the very core of your being, the divine spark that animates your existence. It is the God within, the source of all creation, and the wellspring of infinite possibility. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God, for did not the scriptures tell us, I am that I am? This is the name by which the divine identified itself to Moses, and it is the name by which you must identify yourself in every moment of your existence. To emotionally detach from someone, you must first attach yourself wholly and completely to the I am within. This is not a rejection of love or connection, but rather a recognition that all love, all connection, all fulfillment comes from within. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful oak tree. Its branches reach towards the heavens. Its leaves dance in the sunlight. But what gives this tree its strength, its very life? Is it not the roots hidden beneath the earth, drawing nourishment from the soil? So too must you be rooted in the I am, drawing your strength and sustenance not from the fleeting affections of others, but from the eternal wellspring of divinity within. Practice this, my dear friends. In every moment of your day, affirm the I am. Say to yourself, I am love. I am peace. I am fulfillment. Feel the power of these words resonating through every cell of your being. For in doing so, you are aligning yourself with the creative force of the universe. As you strengthen your connection to the I am, you will find that your need for emotional validation from others begins to diminish. Like a candle whose flame grows ever brighter, you will become a source of light unto yourself and others. But remember, this is not a practice of isolation or disconnection. Rather, it is the foundation for true, unconditional love. For when you are firmly rooted in the I am, you can extend love to others without expectation or attachment. You become a channel for divine love, allowing it to flow through you freely, unobstructed by fear or need. Now let us move on to the second rule of emotional detachment, live in the end. This rule, my dear listeners, is the very essence of creation. For what you experience in your physical reality is but a shadow, a reflection of what you have already accepted as true in your imagination. To emotionally detach from someone, you must live in the end of complete emotional freedom and self-sufficiency. You must see yourself in your mind's eye as one who is whole, complete and fulfilled, independent of any external relationship or circumstance. Close your eyes for a moment, if you will, and imagine yourself standing tall, radiating confidence and inner peace. See yourself moving through your day with grace and ease, unaffected by the opinions or actions of others. Feel the joy and contentment that comes from knowing that you are the source of your own happiness. This, my friends, is living in the end. It is not a denial of your current circumstances, but rather a recognition of the power of your imagination to shape your reality. For as you persist in this vision of emotional freedom, you will find that your outer world begins to conform to this inner truth. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. What you hold as true in your imagination must, by the very laws of creation, manifest in your experience. Therefore, if you continue to imagine yourself as emotionally dependent on another, you will continue to experience that dependency in your life. But if you dare to imagine yourself as emotionally free, as one who is complete unto themselves, then that is what you shall become. The person from whom you wish to detach will either fall away naturally from your life, or your relationship with them will transform into one of mutual respect and freedom. Practice this living in the end daily. Before you sleep at night and as you wake in the morning, spend a few moments in quiet contemplation, experiencing the feeling of being emotionally detached and self-sufficient. Feel the relief, the lightness, the joy that comes with this state of being. As you persist in this practice, you will find that your emotional reactions to the person begin to change. Where once there was attachment and need, there will be understanding and compassion. Where once there was fear of loss, there will be an unshakable knowing of your own completeness. Now let us explore the third rule of emotional detachment. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. This rule, my dear friends, is closely related to living in the end, but it goes a step further. It asks you not only to imagine the end state, but to fully assume it as your current reality. This is the art of what I call thinking from the end rather than thinking of the end. To emotionally detach from someone, you must assume the state of one who is already detached. This is not a matter of pretending or forcing yourself to feel a certain way. Rather, it is about stepping into a new state of consciousness, a new self-concept. Imagine, if you will, that you are an actor on a stage. Up until now, you have been playing the role of someone emotionally attached and dependent. But now you are given a new role, that of someone who is emotionally free and self-sufficient. Your task is to fully embody this new character, to think, feel, and act as they would. How would this emotionally detached version of yourself move through the world? How would they speak? How would they react to situations? How would they feel about themselves and others? Assume these qualities fully, not as something to be achieved in the future, but as your present reality. This assumption of the wish fulfilled is not about denial or suppression of your current feelings. It is about shifting your focus and your energy to a new state of being. It is about choosing moment by moment to align yourself with the version of you that is already emotionally detached. As you assume this state, you may find that your thoughts and feelings towards the person begin to shift naturally. Where once there was a constant preoccupation with their actions and reactions, there is now a calm indifference. Where once there was a need for their approval or affection, there is now a deep sense of self-approval and self-love. Remember, my dear listeners, that your assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Therefore, guard your assumptions carefully. Do not allow yourself to slip back into the old state of attachment. If you find your thoughts drifting towards dependency or need, gently but firmly bring them back to the state of the wish fulfilled. This practice may feel challenging at first, especially if you have been in a state of emotional attachment for a long time. But I assure you, with persistence and faith, it will become more natural. For you are not creating a new reality, but simply aligning yourself with the truth of your being, a being that is whole, complete, and free. As you continue to assume the state of emotional detachment, you will find that your interactions with the person begin to change. You may notice that you no longer react to their words or actions with the same intensity. You may find that you can engage with them from a place of calm neutrality, free from the need to control or change them. This, my friends, is the power of assumption. It is the key to not only emotional detachment, but to all creation. For as you assume, so shall it be done unto you. Now let us turn our attention to the fourth rule of emotional detachment. Release all resistance. This rule, my beloved listeners, may seem paradoxical at first, for in your desire to detach, you may find yourself resisting the very feelings and thoughts you wish to release. But I say unto you, what you resist persists. The key to true detachment lies not in fighting against your attachment, but in releasing all resistance to what is. Consider, if you will, the nature of a river. It flows effortlessly towards the sea, not by pushing against the rocks in its path, but by flowing around them. So too must you learn to flow around the obstacles of attachment rather than struggling against them. Resistance often manifests as judgment, Judgment of yourself for feeling attached, judgment of the other person for their actions, judgment of the situation itself. But judgment, my dear friends, is the antithesis of detachment. It keeps you bound to the very thing you wish to release. Instead, practice acceptance. Accept your feelings of attachment without condemnation. Accept the other person exactly as they are, without trying to change them. Accept the situation as it is, without wishing it were different. This acceptance is not resignation or passivity. It is not about liking or approving of everything. Rather, it is about acknowledging what is without adding the extra layer of emotional resistance. It is about saying yes to the present moment, even as you work towards creating a different future. As you release resistance, you may find that many of the painful emotions associated with attachment begin to dissolve naturally. For it is not the attachment itself that causes suffering, but your resistance to it. When you cease to fight against what is, you open yourself to the flow of life, allowing transformation to occur effortlessly. Practice this release of resistance in every moment. When you notice yourself tensing up emotionally, whether in thought of the person or in their presence, consciously relax. Let go of the need to control the situation or the other person's behavior. Allow yourself to simply be without judgment or expectation. This practice of non-resistance extends to your thoughts as well. When thoughts of attachment arise, do not try to push them away or replace them with positive thoughts. Instead, observe them with detached awareness. Watch them arise and pass away like clouds in the sky without getting caught up in their story. As you cultivate this attitude of non-resistance, you will find that your emotional energy begins to shift. The intensity of your attachment will begin to dissolve, not through force or willpower, but through the gentle power of acceptance and allowing. Remember, my dear friends, that emotional detachment is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It is about freeing yourself from the compulsive need for external validation and control. It is about creating space for true love to flourish, love that is given freely without expectation or attachment. Now let us explore the fifth and final rule of emotional detachment: cultivate inner stillness. This rule, my beloved listeners, is the culmination of all that we have discussed, for it is in the depths of inner stillness that true detachment is realized. Not as a concept or a practice, but as your very nature. Inner stillness is not the absence of thought or emotion. It is the presence of awareness, pure, unbounded, and eternally free. It is the discovery of your true self, beyond all attachments and identifications. To cultivate inner stillness, you must learn to step back from the constant chatter of your mind. You must create space between your thoughts, between your breaths, between your heartbeats. In this space lies the key to emotional freedom. Begin by setting aside time each day for quiet contemplation. Find a comfortable place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and turn your attention inward. Focus on your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest. As thoughts arise, and they will, for that is the nature of the mind, simply observe them without judgment. Do not try to stop your thoughts or change them. Instead, watch them come and go, like waves on the ocean of your consciousness. As you continue this practice, you may begin to notice moments of profound stillness. Moments when the chatter of your mind subsides and you are left with a deep sense of peace and presence. These moments, however brief, are glimpses of your true nature, the unchanging awareness that underlies all experience. From this place of inner stillness, emotional detachment arises naturally. For in the depths of your being, you recognize that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your attachments. You are the awareness in which all these arise and pass away. As you cultivate this inner stillness, you will find that your emotional reactions begin to lose their grip. The person from whom you wish to detach no longer has the power to disturb your peace. Their words and actions may still create ripples on the surface of your mind, but they cannot touch the depths of your being. This inner stillness becomes your refuge, a place of peace and clarity to which you can return at any moment. When you feel yourself becoming entangled in attachment or emotional reactivity, simply take a deep breath and reconnect with this still center within you. From this place of stillness, you can engage with the world and with the person from whom you're detaching with grace and equanimity. You can love without attachment, care without dependency, and relate without losing yourself. Remember, my dear friends, that this inner stillness is not something you need to create or achieve. It is already present within you, waiting to be recognized. Your task is simply to remove the obstacles, the mental and emotional noise that obscure its presence. As you practice these 5 rules, recognizing the I am within, living in the end, assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, releasing all resistance, and cultivating inner stillness, you will find that emotional detachment becomes not just a goal to be achieved, but a natural expression of your true self. Now, my beloved listeners, I want you to understand that this journey of emotional detachment is not a linear process. It is not something that happens overnight or in a steady, predictable progression. Rather, it is a dance, a beautiful, sometimes challenging dance between your habitual patterns of attachment and your growing awareness of your true, detached nature. There will be moments of profound clarity and freedom where you feel completely detached and at peace. Cherish these moments, for they are glimpses of your true potential. But do not become attached to them, for attachment to detachment is still attachment. There will also be moments when you feel as though you've slipped back into old patterns of emotional dependency. Do not judge yourself for these moments. They are not failures, but opportunities for deeper understanding and growth. Each time you notice yourself becoming entangled in attachment, it is an invitation to practice these principles anew. Remember, emotional detachment is not about suppressing your feelings or becoming indifferent to others. It is about freeing yourself from the compulsive need for external validation and control. It is about creating space for true love to flourish, love that is given freely without expectation or attachment. As you continue on this journey, you may find that your relationship with the person from whom you're detaching begins to transform. Without the weight of your emotional expectations and needs, they may feel freer to be themselves. You may discover a new kind of relationship emerging, one based on mutual respect and genuine care rather than dependency and fear. Or you may find that as you detach emotionally, the relationship naturally falls away. For relationships built solely on attachment and need cannot survive in the light of true emotional freedom. Trust in this process, for it is the natural unfolding of your alignment with your true self. Throughout this journey, be gentle with yourself. Emotional detachment is not about forcing yourself to feel or not feel certain things. It is about allowing yourself to be exactly as you are in each moment, while holding the vision of your emotionally free self. Practice self-compassion as you navigate this path. When you notice yourself slipping into old patterns of attachment, rather than berating yourself, offer yourself the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Speak to yourself with words of encouragement and love. Remember also to celebrate your progress. No matter how small it may seem, each moment of awareness, each choice to align with your detached self is a victory. Acknowledge these moments, for they are the building blocks of your transformation. As you move through your days practicing these 5 rules of emotional detachment, you may begin to notice changes not just in your relationship with the specific person you're detaching from, but in all your relationships and interactions. You may find yourself becoming less reactive in general, less easily swayed by the opinions and actions of others. You may discover a new sense of inner peace and stability that remains constant regardless of external circumstances. This, my dear friends, is the true gift of emotional detachment. It is not just about freeing yourself from one specific attachment, but about realizing your inherent freedom in all situations. As you continue to practice, you may find that the very concept of detachment begins to shift. What once seemed like a goal to be achieved becomes simply your natural state of being. You realize that you were never truly attached in the first place, that attachment was merely a story you were telling yourself. In this realization lies true freedom. For when you know yourself as the unchanging awareness beneath all thoughts and emotions, what is there to attach to or detach from? You are already complete, already whole, already free. From this place of inner freedom, you can engage fully with life without becoming entangled. You can love deeply without losing yourself. You can care profoundly without being controlled by your caring. This, my beloved listeners, is the promise of emotional detachment. It is not a dry intellectual concept, but a living reality that you can embody in every moment of your existence. As we near the end of our exploration, I want to remind you that the power to emotionally detach lies entirely within you. It is not dependent on the actions or reactions of others. It does not require the cooperation or understanding of the person from whom you are detaching. It is a choice that you make moment by moment to align with your true free nature. In every interaction, in every thought of the person, you have the opportunity to practice these principles. Each moment is a new beginning, a fresh chance to choose detachment over attachment, freedom over dependency. Remember, the world around you is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate emotional detachment within yourself, you will find that your outer world begins to mirror this inner freedom. Relationships that were once sources of pain and struggle may transform into sources of joy and mutual growth, or they may fall away entirely, making space for new, more aligned connections to enter your life. Trust in this process, my dear friends. Trust in the wisdom of your own being. For as you align yourself with the truth of who you are, a divine, infinite being, complete unto yourself, all things must rearrange themselves to match this inner knowing. And so as we come to the close of this discourse, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on what you've heard. Feel the truth of these words resonating within you. Know that the power to emotionally detach, to free yourself from all limiting attachments, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Go forth from this place with a renewed commitment to your emotional freedom. Practice these 5 rules diligently. Recognize the I am within. Live in the end. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. Release all resistance and cultivate inner stillness. But above all, remember that you are already that which you seek to become. You are already detached, already free, already complete. Your task is simply to remove the veils of illusion that obscure this truth. In every moment, you have a choice. You can choose to identify with your attachments and dependencies, or you can choose to align with your true, free nature. Make this choice consciously, make it with love, and make it again and again until it becomes your natural state of being. And know, my beloved friends, that as you walk this path of emotional detachment, you are not alone. The entire universe conspires to support you in your journey towards freedom. For in freeing yourself, you contribute to the freedom of all beings. May you go forth in peace, in love, and in the unshakable knowing of your own divine completeness. May you find the strength to detach from all that no longer serves you, and the courage to embrace the fullness of your true, liberated self. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the author of your story. Write a story of freedom, of joy, of unconditional love. For that is your birthright, and it is within your power to claim it. Go now and be the embodiment of emotional freedom. Be the living proof that true love needs no attachment, that true strength comes from within, that true peace is your very nature. And as you do, know that you are fulfilling your highest purpose, for in freeing yourself, you light the way for others. In detaching from your own limitations, you help to liberate the world. This, my dear friends, is the ultimate gift of emotional detachment. It is not just a personal practice, but a service to all of humanity. For as you free yourself, you create a ripple effect that touches all those around you, inviting them to recognize their own inherent freedom. So go forth with courage, with faith, and with the unwavering conviction that emotional detachment is not just possible, but inevitable. For it is the truth of your being, waiting to be realized. May you be blessed on your journey. May you find the strength to persist in these practices. And may you come to know, beyond all doubt, the joy and peace that comes from true emotional freedom. I wish to share with you the most profound truth about happiness, a truth so simple yet so revolutionary that it will transform your entire existence once you truly grasp it. Happiness is not something to be pursued. It is not something to be found. Happiness is a state of consciousness, and consciousness is the only reality. Let me tell you why this understanding is so crucial to your life. Every single thing you experience, every emotion you feel, every circumstance you encounter originates first in your consciousness. Your mind is not merely a recorder of events, it is the creator of all that you experience. When I tell you I can do it, you can do it, we can do it, I am not speaking of mere positive thinking. I am revealing to you the very law by which the universe operates. For in consciousness, in your wonderful human imagination, there is no limitation, no boundary, no impossibility. Consider this profound truth right now. In this very moment, you are choosing your state of consciousness. You are selecting the feeling that dominates your being. And that feeling, that state of consciousness, must externalize itself in your world. For this is law. I tell you from my own experience and from witnessing countless transformations in others, that when you truly understand that happiness is a choice of consciousness, your entire world transforms. For what you feel with conviction in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. Let me share with you what I mean when I say, I can do it. When I make this statement, I am not speaking from a place of hoping or wishing. I am speaking from a state of knowing. For in consciousness, I have already done it. In consciousness, I have already achieved it. In consciousness, I am already experiencing it. You see, the outer world is nothing more than your inner world objectified. Everything you now see and experience was first only imagined. Therefore, when you say, I can do it, you are not making a statement about future possibility. You are declaring a present reality in consciousness. Think of it this way. When you say you can do it, you are acknowledging the divine power within another. You are recognizing that they too are God in expression, temporarily wearing the mask of humanity. For there is only one consciousness, one God, one I am, expressing itself through all. And when we declare together we can do it, we are acknowledging the ultimate truth, that we are all one consciousness, one divine being, expressing itself through seemingly separate forms. In this understanding lies the secret of true happiness, true achievement, true fulfillment. Let me tell you something about happiness that few understand. Happiness is not dependent on external circumstances. It is not the result of what happens to you. Happiness is a choice you make in consciousness, and that choice shapes everything that follows. I remember a lady who came to me in deep despair. Her circumstances were dire, her future seemed bleak, and she could see no reason for happiness. I told her something that transformed her life. Your consciousness is the only reality. Choose now to enter the state of happiness, regardless of circumstances, and watch as your entire world reshapes itself to match your new state. She did this faithfully, and within weeks, her entire world transformed. Not because external circumstances changed first, but because she changed her state of consciousness first. For this is the law, the outer must conform to the inner. When you say, I can do it, you must feel the truth of it in your consciousness. Feel the confidence, feel the certainty, feel the natural knowing that comes with true ability. For feeling is the secret, and what you feel with conviction must externalize itself in your world. Consider what happens when you truly understand that happiness is not something to pursue, but a state to assume. In your imagination, which is your real being, you can in one moment shift from despair to delight, from limitation to boundless possibility. This is not fantasy. This is the law of consciousness in operation. When you declare, I can do it, you must understand that you are not speaking to some future possibility. You are claiming your present power. For in consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. The future you desire exists now in your imagination, waiting to be claimed through your assumption. Let me share with you a principle that will revolutionize your understanding of happiness and achievement. Your consciousness is the only reality. Therefore, when you assume the feeling of happiness, when you live from the state of I can do it, you are creating the only place where creation can occur. Think about this. Every great achievement in human history began with someone saying, I can do it. But they didn't just say it with their lips. They felt it with their whole being. They lived from that state of consciousness until it became their reality. This is the secret that all great achievers have known. When you say you can do it to another, you are actually acknowledging the divine power within them. You are recognizing that they too are God in expression. For there is only one consciousness, one God, expressing itself through all of humanity. Your recognition of their power helps to awaken it within them. And when we join together in declaring we can do it, we are acknowledging the ultimate truth, that we are all one consciousness, temporarily wearing different masks. In this understanding lies the secret of true cooperation, true achievement, true happiness. Let me tell you something about the nature of happiness that few understand. Happiness is not a response to events. It is a choice of consciousness that determines how events will unfold. When you choose to live from the state of happiness, the entire universe must rearrange itself to match your assumption. I remember a young man who came to me frustrated with his inability to achieve his goals. He had tried everything, he said, but nothing seemed to work. I told him, stop trying to achieve and start assuming the feeling of the achievement. Live from the end. Feel the happiness of accomplishment now. He looked at me puzzled and asked, but how can I feel happy about something that hasn't happened? I replied, your outer world is merely your inner world objectified. What you establish in consciousness today must manifest in your world tomorrow. This is law. You see, when you say, I can do it, while feeling defeated, you are contradicting yourself in consciousness. But when you assume the feeling of already having done it, when you live from that state of accomplishment, you are creating in the only place where creation can occur, in consciousness. Let me share with you a secret about the phrase, you can do it. When you say this to another, you must say it from the consciousness of already seeing them successful. Feel the joy of their achievement. Feel the naturalness of their success. For in consciousness, where all things exist, you are helping to awaken their own divine power. And when we declare we can do it, we are entering into the highest form of creative activity. For in that declaration, properly felt and understood, we are acknowledging our oneness with all creation. We are recognizing that what benefits one benefits all, for we are all one consciousness. Think of happiness not as something to achieve, but as something to accept now. In your imagination, which is your real being, you can this very moment accept the feeling of happiness, regardless of circumstances. And what you accept in consciousness must manifest in your world. Let me tell you of a principle that never fails. The intensity of your feeling determines the speed of its manifestation. When you declare, I can do it, you must feel it with your whole being. Feel the confidence. Feel the certainty. Feel the natural knowing that comes with true ability. Consider this eternal truth about the power you hold within your own being. When you truly grasp that happiness is your natural state, that achievement is your divine right, you begin to operate from an entirely new level of consciousness. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you establish there must manifest in your world. Let me tell you why the statement, I can do it, holds such power when properly understood. It is not merely a positive affirmation. It is a declaration of your true nature. For you are God in expression, temporarily wearing the mask of humanity, and to God, all things are possible. Think about this. Every time you say, I can't, you are denying your divine nature. You are choosing to live in a state of consciousness that must, by law, manifest limitation in your world. But when you declare, I can do it, and feel the truth of it, you are aligning with your true power. I remember a man who came to me burdened by years of failure. He had convinced himself that happiness and success were for others, not for him. I told him something that changed his life forever. The you that you think you are did not create the world. The you that you really are did create it. You see, when you say you can do it to another, you are speaking to their divine nature, not to their limited human concept of self. You are addressing the God within them, the same God that is within you. For there is only one God, one consciousness expressing itself through all. And when we join together in the understanding of we can do it, we are acknowledging the highest truth, that we are all one being, one consciousness, having multiple experiences. In this recognition lies the secret of true power, true achievement, true happiness. Let me share with you a profound truth about happiness that few understand. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens from you. It is a state of consciousness that you choose to occupy. And once chosen with conviction, it must externalize itself in your world. Think of it this way. Every moment of your life, you are selecting a state of consciousness. Every feeling you entertain, every assumption you accept as true, is creating your future. Therefore, when you choose the state of happiness, when you live from the consciousness of I can do it, you are literally creating your tomorrow. I tell you from experience that this law is unfailing. What you feel with conviction in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. This is not theory. This is law. Just as gravity operates without your belief or disbelief, this law of consciousness operates whether you understand it or not. Consider the power that lies within the statement, you can do it. When you say this to another, truly feeling the truth of it, you are helping to awaken the God within them. You are calling forth their divine nature, their unlimited potential, their true being. And when we declare together we can do it, we are entering into the highest form of creative activity. We are acknowledging our oneness with all creation, our unity with the divine, our inseparable connection with infinite possibility. Let me tell you something about achievement that will transform your understanding forever. Achievement is not something you work towards. It is something you accept in consciousness now. For in consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. The future you desire exists now, waiting to be claimed through your assumption. Think of what I am telling you now. Every moment of frustration, every moment of doubt, every moment of fear is simply a misuse of your imagination. For your imagination, your consciousness, is the very substance from which all reality springs. When you say, I can do it, you are not making a prediction, you are making a decision in consciousness. Let me share with you a principle that has transformed countless lives. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. When you feel happy now, when you feel successful now, when you feel capable now, you are creating from the only place where creation is possible, in consciousness. I remember a woman who claimed that happiness always eluded her. She was constantly pursuing it, constantly seeking it in external circumstances. I told her, stop pursuing happiness and start assuming it. For happiness, like every other state, exists now in your consciousness, waiting to be claimed. You see, when you truly understand that you can do it, that others can do it, that we collectively can do it, you are operating from the highest spiritual law. For in consciousness, there is no separation. What you claim for yourself, you claim for all. And what you claim for all, you claim for yourself. Consider this. Every time you entertain a thought of limitation, every time you attend your idea of I can't, you are denying your divine nature. For the I am within you, which is God himself, knows no limitation. To this infinite being that you really are, all things are possible. Let me tell you something about the power of collective consciousness. When we declare we can do it, we are not merely expressing optimism. We are entering into a spiritual agreement. We are recognizing our oneness with all creation, our unity with the divine, our inseparable connection with infinite possibility. Think about the phrase you can do it until in a new way. When you say this to another, you are speaking to the God within them. You are acknowledging their divine nature, their unlimited potential, their true being. And in doing so, you help to awaken this realization within them. I tell you now, with absolute certainty, that happiness is not something to be pursued, but something to be assumed. It is not something to be found, but something to be expressed. For happiness, like all states of consciousness, exists now within you, waiting to be claimed. Consider how different your life would be if you truly understood that you could do anything, not from a place of human effort or striving, but from a place of divine knowing. For when you say, I can do it from this place of understanding, you are speaking with the voice of God himself. Let me share with you a secret about manifestation that few understand. The outer world is nothing more than your inner world objectified. Therefore, when you maintain the consciousness of I can do it, when you live from the state of happiness now, your entire world must reshape itself to match your assumption. Think of the power that lies within your consciousness. In it, you can traverse 1,000,000 years in a second. In it, you can experience the end before the beginning. In it, you can be, do, or have anything you desire. For consciousness is the only reality. And what you establish there must externalize itself in your world. And when you say we can do it, you are acknowledging the ultimate truth that we are all one consciousness, one divine being, expressing itself through seemingly separate forms. In this understanding lies the secret of true cooperation, true achievement, true happiness. Let me tell you what happens in consciousness when you truly accept that you can do it. In that moment of acceptance, the entire universe begins to rearrange itself to match your assumption. For consciousness is the only reality. And what you accept as true in consciousness must manifest in your world. Think about this divine principle. When you declare, I can do it, from a place of knowing, not hoping, you are exercising your divine creative power. You are operating not as a mere human being, but as the God you truly are. For there is only one God, one consciousness, expressing itself through all. I want you to grasp this fundamental truth about happiness. It is not a destination to reach, but a decision to make in consciousness. When you understand this, you will stop seeking happiness and start expressing it. For what you express in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. Consider what happens when you say you can do it to another. You are not merely offering encouragement. You are recognizing the God within them. You are speaking to their divine nature, their unlimited potential, their true being. And in that recognition, you help to awaken their own divine power. Let me share with you a principle that never fails. The intensity of your assumption determines the speed of its manifestation. When you live from the state of I can do it, when you maintain the consciousness of happiness now, you are creating with the very substance of God. I remember a man who came to me, defeated by life's circumstances. He had tried everything, he said, to find happiness and success. I told him, stop trying to find what already exists within you. Your consciousness is the only reality. Live from the end, and the end will become your reality. You see, when we join together in declaring we can do it, we are entering into the highest spiritual agreement. We are acknowledging our oneness with all creation, our unity with the divine, our inseparable connection with infinite possibility. Think of it this way. Every achievement in human history began with someone assuming the state of I can do it. They didn't achieve first and then believe. They believed first and then achieved. For this is the law of consciousness. What you accept as true in consciousness must externalize itself. Let me tell you something about the nature of possibility that few understand. In consciousness, there is no such thing as impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. When you truly grasp this, when you live from this understanding, you enter into your divine inheritance as a creative being. Consider the power that lies within your own wonderful human imagination. In it, you can experience the end before the beginning. In it, you can be, do, or have anything you desire. For imagination is God in action, and to imagine is to create. When you say, I can do it, you must feel the truth of it in every fiber of your being. Feel the confidence, feel the certainty, feel the natural knowing that comes with true ability. For feeling is the secret. And what you feel with conviction must externalize itself in your world. And when you declare you can do it to another, you must do so from the consciousness of already seeing them successful. Feel the joy of their achievement. Feel the naturalness of their success. For in consciousness, where all things exist, you are helping to awaken their own divine power. Let me share with you the final and most crucial truth about happiness and achievement. When you feel the reality of I can do it so intensely that your whole being vibrates with its truth, you have planted a seed in the fertile soil of infinite possibility that must come to harvest. Do you know why most people fail to find happiness, fail to achieve their desires? They treat their imaginal acts as something unreal, something separate from life itself. But I tell you now, your imaginal acts are more real than the world you see around you, for they are the very substance from which all reality springs. Think of this eternal truth. Every invention, every discovery, every achievement in human history began in someone's imagination. Everything that now exists in your world was once only imagined. Therefore, what you imagine with feeling has a divine right to manifest. For this is the way of creation itself. I tell you with absolute certainty that if you will faithfully apply this law, if you will maintain the consciousness of I can do it, if you will live from the state of happiness now, your whole world must reshape itself to match your assumption. This is not hope, this is law. Remember these final words I share with you tonight. You are not some tiny being struggling against the world. You are the operant power. You are the creator of your reality. Your consciousness, properly directed, contains within it the power to reshape universes. When you declare we can do it, understand that you are speaking with the voice of the divine itself. For in consciousness, there is no separation. What you claim for yourself, you claim for all. And what you claim for all, you claim for yourself. Tonight, when you leave this place, do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the most holy of holies, your own consciousness. Feel the reality of your desires with such intensity that the physical world seems pale in comparison to what you have established in consciousness. For in consciousness properly directed, even the impossible must yield to your assumption. The whole vast world will conspire to make your assumption a reality. For this is the eternal law of consciousness. What you feel as real in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. I leave you with this final truth. The power is within you. The kingdom is within you. Your consciousness used with understanding and feeling is more powerful than 1,000 years of toil. For in consciousness, you are exercising your divine right as a created being. Go forth now with this knowledge. Apply this law. Test it. Prove it in the laboratory of your own life. For I tell you with absolute authority that even the impossible will manifest when you understand and apply the power of your own wonderful human imagination. Let this be your practice from this moment forward. Live from the state of I can do it. Maintain the consciousness of happiness. Feel the reality of your desires fulfilled. For when you do this, you are doing the work you were created to do. You are consciously creating your reality. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, in consciousness, you are literally realigning the entire universe according to rest. There is no power outside of you that can withstand what you establish in consciousness. For consciousness is the only reality, and you are that consciousness. And now, knowing this truth, understanding this law, go forth and create the life you desire. For you hold within you the power to manifest even the impossible. This is the truth. This is the law. This is your divine inheritance. The end is where we begin. The completion is where we start. Therefore, live from the end, dwelling in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled. For when you do this, you are operating in accordance with the highest law of creation, and nothing can prevent your assumption from becoming your reality. So I say to you, finally, take this knowledge, use it wisely, fill your consciousness with the feeling of your wishes fulfilled, and watch as the whole vast world reshapes itself to match what you have established in consciousness. For this is the way of creation, this is the law of assumption, and this is your power as a divine created being. Let me tell you a profound truth that will change your life forever. The power that you seek, the power to manifest even the impossible, lies dormant within you at this very moment. You are that power. You are the operant power. You are God in the most profound sense, temporarily occupying a garment of flesh. I say to you now, for just 1 minute, 1 single minute of your time, you can set in motion forces so magnificent that they will reshape your entire world. For consciousness is the only reality. And in that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you can plant a seed that must by divine law come to harvest. Tonight I share with you not theory, but law, immutable, unchangeable law. The law states that your consciousness, your feeling, your assumption is the only reality. What you feel as true, what you accept as real in that 1 minute of focused attention becomes the blueprint that the whole vast world must follow. Consider this. When you go to sleep tonight, enter into that 1 minute with complete surrender to your desire fulfilled. Feel it as real. Feel it as present. Feel it as now. For the feeling is the secret. And that 1 minute of reality of your desire is more powerful than 1,000 minutes of yearning or wanting. Let me share with you what I mean. Suppose you desire wealth beyond measure. In that 1 minute, you must feel the weight of that wealth, the satisfaction of that abundance, the joy of that prosperity as if it were already yours. You must enter into the state of the wish, fulfilled so completely that when you open your eyes, the outer world seems pale in comparison to what you have just experienced. The outer world, you see, is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. But in that 1 sacred minute, you have the power to change every assumption, to rewrite every belief, to transform every aspect of your life. The whole vast world will reshape itself to match your new assumption, for this is law. I tell you, time is nothing to your subconscious mind. What you impress upon it in that 1 minute of focused feeling will work day and night to externalize itself in your world. This is why Scripture tells us, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, we shall all be changed. That moment is the moment of assumption. You need not concern yourself with the how. The how is not your part in this divine drama. Your role is simply to occupy the state of consciousness of the wish fulfilled for that 1 minute with such intensity, such conviction, that you can say with absolute certainty, it is done. I remember a lady who came to me in dire circumstances. She had not a penny to her name, and creditors were at her door. I told her to take 1 minute, just 1 minute, before sleep and feel the joy, the relief, the absolute knowing of having more than enough. She did this faithfully, and within weeks, through channels she could never have imagined, abundance flowed into her life from every direction. You see, the outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. It has no choice in the matter. Just as the fruit must grow from the seed, your outer world must grow from the seed of your assumption. And that seed, planted in 1 minute of focused feeling, contains within it all that is necessary for its own fulfillment. Let me tell you something of profound importance. When you enter into that 1 minute of consciousness, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering the most holy of holies. You are entering into the very source of creation itself. For your consciousness, your I am, is God himself, and there is no other power to create or to destroy. Think of it this way. If you were to witness a miracle this very moment, what would you feel? How would your body respond? What thoughts would flow through your mind? That is exactly how you must feel in your 1 minute of focused consciousness. You must feel the naturalness, the reality, the absolute certainty of your desire fulfilled. The reason most people fail in their manifestations is that they treat their imaginal acts as something unreal, something separate from themselves. But I tell you now, your imaginal acts are more real than the world of Caesar, for they are the very substance from which all reality springs. In that 1 minute, you must abandon yourself completely to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you desire perfect health, feel the freedom and vitality in every cell of your body. If you desire a specific position, feel the satisfaction and responsibility of that position. If you desire a particular relationship, feel the love and connection as if it were already yours. The secret lies in the intensity of your feeling, the completeness of your absorption in the state desired. For feeling is the secret. And in that 1 minute of focused feeling, you are literally molding the substance of the universe according to your desire. Remember the words of Scripture, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This transformation takes place in consciousness first, and that 1 minute of transformation in consciousness will work its magic until the outer world reflects perfectly what you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. Do not make the mistake of thinking that 1 minute is too short a time to manifest the impossible. Time is only a concept of the outer world. In the realm of consciousness, in the realm of the subconscious mind, 1 minute of complete absorption in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is equal to an eternity. Let me tell you what most of humanity has forgotten. In your imagination, which is your own wonderful human consciousness, you can in 1 minute live an entire lifetime. You can compress time to such a degree that 1,000 years become as 1 day in your consciousness. This is the mystery that the ancient mystics knew. When I tell you to take 1 minute, I am speaking of a minute pregnant with infinite possibility. For in that minute, when properly used, you transcend all limitations of time and space. You enter into the eternal now where all things are possible and all realities exist simultaneously. Consider this, every moment of your life you are manifesting. Every single moment you are creating through your assumptions. But most of these moments are spent unconsciously accepting the limitations of your current reality. What I am giving you now is the secret of conscious creation, deliberate manifestation through that one focused minute. Let me share with you an absolute principle. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. Not the wish, not the want, not the desire, but the feeling of already having what you desire. In that 1 minute, you must generate this feeling with such intensity that it crowds out all other thoughts and feelings. When you close your eyes tonight, when you enter into that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you must feel with every fiber of your being that you are now the person you desire to be. You must feel the reality of it so intensely that when you open your eyes, the physical world seems like the dream. and what you have just experienced in imagination seems like the reality. I tell you, and I tell you with absolute certainty, that your three-dimensional world is nothing more than the outpicturing of your assumptions. The whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, in that 1 minute, you are literally rearranging the entire universe according to your assumption. What would you feel like if you were now the person you desire to be? What would you experience? How would your friends address you? What conversations would you have? These are not idle questions. They are the very substance of creation. For in that 1 minute, as you feel these things as real, you are creating them in the only place they can be created, in consciousness. Remember the words I share with you now? Your consciousness is God. Your I am is the creator of all that appears in your world. Therefore, when you enter into that 1 minute of focused feeling, you are entering into the very creative substance of the universe. You are entering into God himself. I have tested this law countless times, and I tell you now it never fails. A lady once came to me in tears, her child desperately ill. I told her to take 1 minute before sleep and feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude of seeing her child in perfect health. She did this faithfully, and within days her child made a recovery that the doctors could not explain. You see, the outer world has no choice but to conform to your inner assumptions. This is law. Just as an apple seed must produce an apple tree, your assumption must produce its physical equivalent. And in that 1 minute of focused feeling, you are planting the seed that must come to harvest. Let me tell you of the power that lies within that 1 minute. When you enter into it, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the most sacred of activities. You are literally exercising your divine right as a created being. You are doing the work that you were created to do. Do not make the mistake of thinking that this is mere positive thinking or autosuggestion. What I am giving you is the very principle of creation itself. It is the same principle that created the stars and the planets, that maintains the order of the universe. It is the principle that Scripture refers to when it says, "Let there be light." In that 1 minute, you must let there be that which you desire to experience. You must feel it with such completion, such totality, that you can say with absolute conviction, it is finished. But when you can feel this, when you can experience this with your whole being, the thing is done. And all the forces of the universe move to bring about its physical manifestation. Think of it this way. Everything you now accept as real was once only imagined. Your current circumstances, your present relationships, your existing conditions, all were first imagined before they became fact. Therefore, in that 1 minute, you are engaging in the most natural and most powerful of all human activities, the act of conscious creation through imagination. I tell you now, with absolute authority, that if you understand and apply what I am sharing with you in this moment, nothing will be impossible for you. For the one who knows how to use that single minute of consciousness holds within their hands the key to all creation. Consider the words of Scripture before they call, "I will answer." This is not some distant God responding to prayer. This is the law of consciousness in operation. When you enter that 1 minute with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you have already created it. The answer precedes the call, because in consciousness, where all creation takes place, you have already received. Let me share with you a profound truth that few understand. In your imagination, there is no limitation of time or space. You can traverse 1,000,000 years in a single second of consciousness. You can experience the end before the beginning. This is why that 1 minute properly used can reshape your entire existence. When you lie down tonight, when you enter into that sacred minute of communion with your own wonderful human imagination, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering the realm of cause. The three-dimensional world you see around you is merely effect. It must, by eternal law, conform to what you establish in consciousness. I tell you now, do not waste that minute wondering how your desire will be fulfilled. The how is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled with such intensity, such conviction, that you can feel the naturalness of it. Feel the solidity of it. Feel the reality of it. Imagine if you desire perfect health. In that 1 minute, you must feel the vitality coursing through your veins. Feel the strength in your limbs. Feel the perfect functioning of every organ, every cell. Feel the joy of moving with complete freedom and vigor. Feel the naturalness of perfect health so completely that you cannot remember what it felt like to be otherwise. If it is wealth you desire, in that 1 minute you must feel the abundance surrounding you. Feel the security of substantial wealth. Feel the freedom it brings. Feel the joy of helping others. Feel the naturalness of having more than enough. Feel it so completely that you cannot remember what lack feels like. You see, your subconscious mind knows no difference between what you imagine with feeling and what you experience in the outer world. To your subconscious mind, they are one and the same. Therefore, what you impress upon it in that focused minute of consciousness must externalize itself in your world. Let me tell you of a principle that never fails. The intensity of your feeling determines the speed of its manifestation. When you enter that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you must abandon yourself completely to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let no doubt enter. Let no contrary thought disturb your assumption. Remember this, your consciousness is the only reality. Everything you now consider real was first only imagined. The chair you sit on, the clothes you wear, the building you live in, all were first only imagined before they became fact. Therefore, what you imagine with feeling in that 1 minute is as real as anything you now consider real. I share with you now a secret of manifestation that few understand. When you enter that 1 minute of consciousness, you must do so from the end. Live in the end. Experience the completion, the fulfillment, the attainment of your desire. For when you experience the end in consciousness, all the steps necessary for its achievement must unfold naturally. Think of it this way. If you were to receive news right now that your desire had been fulfilled, what would you feel? How would your body respond? What thoughts would flow through your mind? That is exactly how you must feel in your 1 minute of focused consciousness. You must generate those exact feelings, those exact sensations. Do not make the mistake of thinking that this is merely daydreaming or fantasizing. What I am giving you is the very principle by which the universe operates. It is the principle of assumption, and it never fails. What you assume to be true, what you feel to be real in consciousness, must externalize itself in your world. Let me share with you a profound truth that will revolutionize your understanding of manifestation. In that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you are literally rearranging the entire universe. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you establish there must by eternal law manifest in your world. I tell you from my own experience, time after time, that this law is as exact as mathematics. Just as 2 + 2 must equal 4, what you feel as real in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. This is not theory, this is law, and it operates with mathematical precision. When you enter into that 1 minute tonight, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the very substance of creation. Your consciousness, your I am, is God Himself in operation. Therefore, whatever you accept as true in that state of consciousness has no choice but to externalize itself. Consider this: every moment of your life, you are manifesting. Every single thought accompanied by feeling is creating your future. But when you take that 1 minute and consciously direct it, when you deliberately assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are exercising your divine creative power at its highest level. Let me tell you of something remarkable about your imagination. In it, there is no such thing as impossibility. In that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you can be, do, or have anything you desire. The limitations of time, space, and circumstance do not exist in imagination. They are only beliefs we accept in our outer world. When you lie down tonight, when you enter into that sacred minute of communion with your own wonderful human imagination, you must feel with every fiber of your being that your desire is already fulfilled. Feel the joy of it. Feel the reality of it. Feel the naturalness of it. If you desire a particular position or achievement, in that 1 minute you must feel the satisfaction of already having achieved it. Feel the respect it brings. Feel the responsibility it carries. Feel the natural pride in your accomplishment. Feel it so completely that you cannot remember what it felt like to desire it. You see, the secret lies in the feeling. Feeling is the secret. It is not enough to merely visualize or think about your desire. You must feel it as real. You must generate the feeling that would be yours if your desire were already a fact in the outer world. Let me tell you something about the nature of consciousness that few understand. Your consciousness is not confined to your physical body. It extends throughout the universe. Therefore, when you assume a state in consciousness, you are literally rearranging the entire universe to match your assumption. I share with you now a principle that has transformed countless lives. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. Not the wishing, not the hoping, not the wanting, but the feeling of already having what you desire. This is the secret that all the great ones of history have known. Remember this, your outer world is nothing more than your inner world objectified. Everything you now see and experience was first only imagined. Therefore, what you feel as real in that 1 minute of focused consciousness must by law become real in your outer world. Think of the power that lies within that 1 minute. In it, you can transcend all limitations. In it, you can rewrite your entire life story. In it, you can plant a seed that must, by divine law, come to harvest. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you establish there is more real than anything in the outer world. Do not let anyone tell you that this is mere positive thinking or wishful dreaming. What I am giving you is the very principle by which the universe operates. It is the same principle that keeps the stars in their courses, that maintains the order of creation. It is the principle of conscious assumption. Let me tell you the final and most crucial truth about this 1 minute that can transform your entire existence. When you feel the reality of desire so intensely that your whole being vibrates with its truth, you have planted a seed in the fertile soil of infinite possibility that must come to harvest. Do you know why most people fail in their manifestations? They treat their imaginal acts as something unreal, something separate from life itself. But I tell you now, your imaginal acts in that 1 minute are more real than the world you see around you, for they are the very substance from which all reality springs. Think of this, every invention, every discovery, every achievement in human history began in someone's imagination. Everything that now exists in your world was once only imagined. Therefore, what you imagine with feeling in that 1 minute has a divine right to manifest, for this is the way of creation itself. I tell you with absolute certainty that if you will faithfully apply this law, if you will enter into that 1 minute each night feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled, your whole world must reshape itself to match your assumption. This is not hope. This is law. Remember these final words I share with you now. You are not some tiny being struggling against the world. You are the operant power. You are the creator of your reality. That 1 minute of focused consciousness properly used contains within it the power to reshape universes. Tonight, when you enter into that 1 minute, do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the most holy of holies. Feel the reality of your desire with such intensity that when you open your eyes, the physical world seems pale in comparison to what you have just experienced. For in that 1 minute, properly used, even the impossible must yield to your assumption. The whole vast world will conspire to make your assumption a reality, for this is the eternal law of consciousness. What you feel as real in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. I leave you with this final truth. The power is within you. The kingdom is within you. That 1 minute of focused consciousness, used with understanding and feeling, is more powerful than 1,000 years of toil. For in that minute, you are exercising your divine right as a creative being. Go forth now with this knowledge. Apply this law. Test it. Prove it in the laboratory of your own life. For I tell you, with absolute authority, that even impossible will manifest for you when you understand and apply the power of that 1 minute of focused consciousness. Let this be your practice from this moment forward. Enter that 1 minute with complete faith, with absolute conviction, with the feeling of your desire fulfilled. For when you do this, you are doing the work you were created to do. You are consciously creating your reality through the power of your own wonderful human imagination. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, in that 1 minute, you are literally rearranging the entire universe according to your assumption. There is no power outside of you that can withstand what you establish in consciousness. For consciousness is the only reality, and you are that consciousness. And now, knowing this truth, understanding this law, go forth and create the life you desire. For you hold within you, in that 1 minute of focused consciousness, the power to manifest even the impossible. This is the truth. This is the law. This is your divine inheritance. The end is where we begin. The completion is where we start. Therefore, enter into that 1 minute from the end, living in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. For when you do this, you are operating in accordance with the highest law of creation, and nothing can prevent your assumption from becoming your reality. So I say to you, finally, take this minute. Use it wisely. Fill it with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and watch as the whole vastness self reshapes itself to match what you have established in consciousness. For this is the way of creation. This is the law of assumption. And this is your power as a divine creative being.